Today is Saturday, the 28th of June, 2025. We are gathered here today for the 190th session of Mindfulness for Beginners in English, conducted by Nissarana Vanaya. I would like to welcome Venerable Homagama Dhamma Kusala Thero for our program as usual. We'd like to welcome everyone who's joining with us today via Zoom and Facebook live stream, and whoever may be watching later. Our program, as usual, will commence with the in-session practice of mindfulness conducted by Bhante, and we will then move on to the talk on today's topic, and then finally any reports that we have been sent to present them to Bhante. If there is time, we will go on to some questions towards the end. To begin the session, I now invite Bhante to start the in-session practice of mindfulness.
Thanks, Sonali. Hello, everyone. So today we have a topic that is a continuation from last time. So for this one, Nadeep is ready to do an activity, I guess. Nadeep, yes.
Yes, Bhante. Hello, everyone. We have a small activity organized today. If I give you a bit of a context of the task, things sometimes we do assuming smarter, quicker, and genius, but eventually ended up being something paradoxically stupid. Sometimes disastrous. I have a list here, about 20, but it's not exhaustive. List could go on and on. To start with, I probably share my. Would I put into the chat or by one, or just share my screen with the entire list, Bhante? How would be?
I think better to read out probably one by one and ask them.
Yeah. Rather than giving in advance thinking. Yes, cool. All right. The first thing is the very thing I did today morning as well is skipping breakfast to save time. Has anyone done it before? You could just raise Zoom hand or happy to unmute yourself and share your experience.
Oh, I did.
There you go.
To do the progress. So, thinking of going now.
Yeah, so you skip your breakfast. How do you feel now?
So hungry. Since we are talking about the topic and it makes it worse now.
You're in different world, right? Okay. Yeah. You won't be able to focus. Yes, Samantha. How did you go?
Oh, actually, it turned out to be sort of a new phase now in my life. I call it intermittent fasting now because it started off because when I was looking after my parents, I used to do their breakfast and all the stuff. And then I found myself, I'm having breakfast at about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I got so used to it, the body, after so many years and months. And now I can't eat breakfast at 10 o'clock or 11. So it ends up like 2 meals a day. And so I call that myself now intermittent fasting. So I'm happy with it. And it making me more, I suppose, healthier, I suppose. Yeah. So that's my bonus from missing breakfast.
Yeah, in some situation, if you stick to maybe one meal a day, or as you said, intermittent fasting, that might help. But if you skip purposely without giving proper thought, it's going to be problematic. Yeah, especially won't be able to focus. Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, good. Yeah, thanks for sharing. The second one, anyone, most of the people may have experienced this, texting while walking down the stairs. Have you done and put yourself into trouble or
Use
tripped
the chat
yourself?
to what? No, Nadeep, the chat is right. Yeah,
Sorry, Bhande?
the chat is enabled, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So they
Yes, that's on.
that option as well. In the chat they can
Tarun,
vote.
Yeah.
Tarun, yeah, could you please put that voting option enable?
Yeah, it's can someone just send a hi to me and say like whether
Give me a
that's
second.
wrong? Okay, yeah. So chat is enabled. Yeah.
I know that so that we can count the people, how many people did this thing, done this thing in the past, so that we can, take a count.
We need sort of an opinion poll, like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, it might take a few minutes to make.
Is it? All right. Okay.
Right.
This should be under host tools.
Can you send me the questions?
I know. After I read the question, you can just click yes or no type of thing. Or I think you
have to count the
Shall I answer?
seniors in the chat. Now
Yeah.
Chamar is Nadeep.
Yes, Bhante. Sorry.
Yeah, it would be easier to simply read out the answers from the chat. I think Tarindu can do it. So they have already responded, some of them. Chamari said would never text or walking alone down the stairs.
And Mihiri says no. So yeah, you Nadeep, go ahead and ask the question, Saribante.
Okay, sure, no problem. Right, cool. I'm going to read out the third one, lying about being almost there, where you are still at home. When you are still at home. Have you done that?
Guilty. So
Almost.
Yes, me too, says Samantha. Mihiri, yes.
I think no one spared.
Yeah. I will have. Did many years ago, but not now. So that is Chamari for you.
Great. Yeah, the answer for that here is got stuck in traffic and had to lie again. Trust eroded as a consequence. Yeah, it happens. Yes, people start not trusting you, especially kids. Right here. Next, move to the next one. Using your phone during a meeting, thinking no one noticed. Yeah, I get really annoyed, sometimes people bring their phone to the meeting. I don't mind bringing to the meeting, but I still texting and, watching at the phone while, someone talking. It's really, I feel very disrespectful for the host of the meeting or whoever chair the meeting.
Somebody says yes.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I don't do it.
I thought that's allowed.
Well, it's an emergency. Once in an interview, job interview, while I was working, I told the interviewer I have to, turn my phone on. If my boss call, I have to answer even during the interview. So I got their permission and keep the phone on. Yeah, Vanda says multitasking. Does that work? I think we are being a mindful practitioner. You should know that now. Is a multitasking possible or not? Cool. All right. Next one. Speeding through a yellow light to save a minute. I did that once in Sri Lanka because I don't do it here because it incur huge fine, demerit points. And even more than 30 minutes. If the police in person catch me, it's going to take more than 30 minutes. But in Sri Lanka, I did that and I was caught by a policeman. I happened to give something underhand. Save myself because I didn't have my Sri Lankan license.
That's quite the norm there, so you don't have to feel bad. Like.
Yeah. So anyone here who lives in UK, Australia, or any other country?
Yes, many times.
University.
Yes, Bandula, even I paid penalty recently. Thank
There you
you
go.
for being honest. Yes.
Would you do it again?
Chamari says
That's
yes.
the question.
Bandula says no for your question. I think no, he's not going to do it. Learn the lesson.
Oh dear. Okay. Next one. Pulling an all night before an exam. Yeah, I did that when I was in uni. Yeah, I didn't sleep whole night at all. Yeah, but not now. No,
No.
I don't do any exam. Yeah.
He says yes. Bandula says no.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a no for me also.
Yeah. I did once. Yeah.
I
And
have a
then
ritual like
consequence
day
is
before the exam I will sleep. Like that's the ritual. I will not do anything. Even though I know like I can't do it, I'll just take the day off. So Chamari
the
says no, I
consequence
didn't.
is
Yeah, Chamari says I didn't take exams seriously. Sonali, yes, when I was younger, but not now.
yeah. The consequence is brain fog so heavy you forgot your own name on the paper. Yeah, it could happen. Possible, quite possible. Next one, buying cheap shoes to save money. I don't think our female counterpart do it.
Buying cheap food.
Cheap shoes.
Shoes, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, they that can become turn into an ugly argument. Oh, so the chat is silent. Okay. Samantha, definitely not.
Yeah, it should start. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. As a result, feet hurt for a week. Ended up buying new ones again anyway. Yeah. If you buy
Can you
cheap
repeat
shoes.
the question again, Nadif for Chamari?
Yeah, buying cheap shoes to save money. So eventually, you ended up buying new ones anyway after maybe a month or so because it hurts, not comfortable.
Chamari says yes, she has done it.
Yes, there you go. Okay, next one about your health. Ignoring small symptoms because it's probably nothing. Yeah.
Let's say.
Yes. Yeah. Yes to me as well.
All the time.
Yeah. All the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think pretty much 100% yes.
yes, before a bit less now. I must blame Google now because of Google you tend to search everything and then you're reading, oh my God, something's really terrible with me. It's just a simple symptom.
Okay. Yeah. So you probably end up with the worst condition that needed treatment. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. But being mindful, I don't think you learn to be with it. But if it's getting worse, if you're mindful, you feel whether it's getting deteriorated or not, then you better seek treatments. Okay. Next one. Feeling a friend teasing a friend just for a fun in front of others. Would you do it?
We all have done it, I think.
Yeah, I used to, but no longer. I wouldn't do it. No.
Yes, before a bit less now.
Yeah.
That's Chamari. Pandra says no. In the past, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yes,
I kind of a worse person, yeah. I don't do it anymore. Yeah. So as a consequence, they laughed politely at the moment, just at that moment, but now they tend to avoid you.
Yeah. I learned the hard way when I started teasing my wife, so that didn't go well.
Lucky you still get your food.
Yeah, still alive and still okay, and this is not a call for help.
Next one. Taking shortcuts on a group project. Yeah, I used to do that. Didn't do it anymore. Yeah. Would you take shortcuts in group projects?
I've done it in the past, so sometimes, yeah, see, I rarely do that. Shamari, Mihiri says no.
Yeah, what happens is everyone notice you are not invited to the next one. Yeah. Yeah, in the past, I feel that way. Yeah, you yourself notice it. Oh, this one good one. Leaving dishes for later every day. When I was a student, yeah, I used to do that. It's piling up and then it becomes stinky.
Two no's for Mihiri. No, no.
Yeah. Ladies wouldn't do it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think it's just me and you there. Guilty.
Yeah, obviously, the result is you got a science experiment growing in the sink. Exactly, that's what happened.
Bandula says yes, sometimes, and wife is angry. Oh, yes, always.
Cool. Let's move to the next one. Posting a vague emotional rant on social media. I never do that. Yeah, haven't done either. Anyway, ever.
No, Mihiri says no. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah, a few times and not anymore. How I'm on social media. Yeah, that's
What
big
happened is
yeah.
people assume the worst and to explain yourself for days. Yeah, that's what happened when you do a rant. Yes. In the interest of time, Sonali, do you have 30? So 20 minutes past. Shall we continue for 5 minutes more?
Yeah, I
Is that
think we
okay?
can do a few minutes more.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Next one. Borrowing something and forgetting to return it. Yeah, it happened to me a few times. Yeah. It's not purposely. It's coming to my mind, most of the time I said, okay, next day. That next day never happened. Never occurred.
Yeah. Yes, I think.
Yes.
I borrowed a T-shirt from my younger brother. And I brought it here into the UK. Now he's in Australia and he's asking for it. You never gave it.
Yeah, you had to give it with some interest.
Yeah. So Shamari says, happens, recognized long ago and put reminder in diary to return.
Yeah. So have you noticed what happened after? So the result being friends stopped trusting you with their stuff. You feel that way? Anyone? They don't tell you, but you feel it, I guess.
Sandula says, yes, learn a bad lesson. So yeah, there you
go. Right. Yeah, here's another good one. Eating junk food all weekend, thinking I deserve it. Yeah. There's a fancy term for it, like cheat meal. You eat all the good meal, healthy meal, and then, I deserve one cheat meal.
I think now the problem is even if you want to do it, you can't, right? Then it's gonna probably feel worse. So
I think I didn't go to McDonald's for about 3 years now.
oh, that's quite an achievement. Yes, but Chamari says occasionally, Bandula sometimes, since no option. Sonali, yes. So, and regret soon after, yes. Me occasionally, but not a whole weekend, yes. Not a whole week.
Okay. Yeah, what happened is next day, obviously your working day, you feel bloated, sluggish, and regretting it.
Yeah,
That's rightly Sonali mentioned. Yes.
Samantha is being really honest when no time to cook, yes.
Cool. Moving to next one. Wearing new shoes. Again, about shoes without breaking them in. Okay, I bought a new pair of shoes last week, but before I wear it, I wear it at home and walk a few minutes here and there. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Same with me, I guess.
Yeah. So you get blisters, turn your day into a hobble fest.
Summary, yes, don't have patience for those.
I do that sometimes with my cricket shoes, but mostly I buy like Fridays and then straight away next Saturday, Saturday are the games. I wear it. Yeah. Especially my toes hurt and then get blisters. Yeah. Next one. Try to fix a technical issue by randomly clicking things. Always with the computer.
I don't do that. So Nali always. Yes, everyone's saying yes.
Believe me, not every day, I happen to chat with most of the experts of IT. They said, the quick fix is press something. It will, give you a solution. Those tech experts. Right. Here what happened. Now the entire system crashed and IT is mad. Okay. Next one. Telling a small lie to get out of a gathering. Yes, sometimes I do. Yeah, but it's some way I try to justify myself thinking it is not a lie, something truth, but to avoid the meeting or gathering, I just improvise something.
Okay, that we have Mihiri saying not anymore. Yes, in the past. Chamari used to, but now I mostly tell the truth directly. Sonali, yes, but not always a lie. An extension of the truth. Yeah, that's something I can relate to that.
The result is got tagged in a post doing something else. Awkward messages followed. Yes. Yeah, it happens. And then reverberating back of your head. Next one. Assuming you all win it for a presentation. Yeah. I don't feel it that way sometimes. Sometimes you think the presentation goes your way until you hear after the meeting from your colleague. Sure, yeah. Assuming you will win it. Wing in the sense wing, winging. Yeah, wing it for a presentation. Yeah, what happens is frozen halfway, audience noticed. You're still trembling. Next one. Join a viral trend without thinking it through. Yeah, I hardly contribute to any viral videos or posts. Yeah, eventually getting embarrassing photos / video now lives forever online. Yeah, you can't get rid of it. Last one. That's lucky. Yeah, you're lucky sometimes to escape without any loss. Cool. Finally, not reading the instruction and trying to assemble something intuitively. Yeah, it takes a few seconds to really understand what it is. You only, yeah, it happens to me. Yeah, sometimes. Mm. Sometimes I get my wife and kids to read it and give me instructions.
Just letting you know the time, Nadeep.
Yeah, good. Right. So here, the consequence of that is you spend hours on, you still had leftover screws. Yeah. Cool. All right. Over to you, Sonali. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating. I think everyone enjoyed it. Please remember. Yeah.
I'm not sure if Bhante would like to comment on the task, or would we go to the next item?
Yeah. Would really love to hear from Bhante, sir.
Bhante,
You're on mute, Bhante.
Sorry, are we done with the activity?
Yes, Bhante. Yeah, a lot of yeses
feedback.
are there. Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of culprits. Yeah, the question, I think the AI knows really well. It's quite natural, I guess, for a person, especially for lay people. Yeah, few things I wouldn't do, but there are many I did, and I do less now. Yeah.
Right. So I think the AI models are trained on the information we have on
Yeah.
the web. So basically our own history, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
No
And
accurate those
keep
things.
getting updated every day. Whatever stupid thing we do, it's on the internet. Yeah.
Okay, then we can move forward. No, Sonali.
yes, Bhante. Thank you everyone for participating in that. So we will move on to the next item on the agenda. So it's the talk on today's topic. The topic is a continuation from last week. It is on consequences, which is, I think, what Bhante tried to explain today as well in the activity. So to start the talk on today's topic, I now invite Bhante again.
Thanks, Sonali. Hello, everyone. So I think you have already discussed this topic last time. I will also try to talk about some ideas based on the topic at hand. Now, the quote or the idea in the poster is place to big games win stupid prizes. So this is one of the popular memes that's out there. We sometimes take shortcuts. We sometimes do things without properly thinking. We sometimes think that we can get away with certain things. Those behaviors are there, and it's natural to most of us. So in a way, we do foolish things, we have reckless behaviors, and as a result, probably painful, unpleasant experiences we have to go through. So you can see in our lives, these type of incidents happen. Sometimes something happens and we learn from it and we change our behaviors in future. Most of us, we are able to learn from them. But sometimes we repeat the same mistake time after time. We don't learn from them, right? Those type of incidents are also there. And sometimes when you observe the surrounding, when you go through certain information, probably browsing the web, when you do those things, if you are mindful, if you are wise, you can even learn from others' mistakes. It's good to learn from others' mistakes as well, especially when it comes to certain things. It's better not to go through those experiences personally. Instead, you can learn from others. Now, if you watch news, if you go through social media, you can see so many such incidents. By playing stupid games, they win stupid prizes. Maybe a young boy speeding in a bike, right? And as a result, probably got into an accident and died on the spot, right? Horrifying the entire family and all the loved ones. So those incidents are not uncommon. So it's good that we don't have to go through such incidents and learn. There won't be any time for you to learn. It's better to learn from others' mistakes, especially when they are young and reckless. They do such things, and as a result, probably they have to pay the ultimate price, or maybe they become a cripple or something like that, right? So those type of things you can see, you can learn from them. And no matter how fast you go, no matter how much you speed, you can't really save much time, right? You probably save 5-10 minutes maximum. That's the best you can do. And in order to save those 5-10 minutes, you might be taking so many risks. And when you do that, when you take risk time after time, one time the probability hits you, right? When you take more and more risk, it's natural that one day you will have to go through the unpleasant result, right? So those type of incidents are there. Then maybe some of the young people or even old people, they swim in a wild sea. They don't know what's underneath. They don't know the behavior. They are traveling. They are foreign to that region, but still they recklessly go and swim. And as a result, they might have to pay the ultimate price, right? So those type of things we can really see on web, on social media, these things are very common. So it's good that we don't personally have to go through all those experiences. In a way, we can observe the surrounding, we can observe others and learn from them. We can see by playing stupid games, they win stupid prizes. Right? So those learning opportunities are important. If you don't learn from them, then one day you yourself have to go through and learn. It won't be a pleasant experience. So you get the idea. We might be doing certain little things in our lives. Sometimes it's okay to have such flaws, have such reckless nature. But when it comes to certain things, more serious things, you have to be really careful not to do such things. If you do, then you might have to face the consequences, right? So this is the very idea. Whatever the causes you create, you will get the results accordingly. If you create causes for stupid results, then you will have to experience those. You will have to go through those unpleasant, painful experiences, right? So it's like cause and effect. If you create causes for painful, unpleasant things, then as a result, you have to face the consequences. You might have to go through those unpleasant, painful results, right? So this thing is happening time after time. We create certain causes, and when the results come, you complain, you cry, you blame. Although you complain, you cry and blame, it doesn't help. Because you yourself has created the causes. Whatever you sow, you have to reap. That's the very idea. For example, if you are unreliable, if you try to find shortcuts in your workplace, as a result, you get this reputation. You get the reputation for being unreliable. You get the reputation for taking shortcuts. And when the time comes, probably you won't get the promotion that you were supposed to get. Right? So you have created so many causes over the years. And when it comes to results, you can't really complain about it. So you can see we are in a way creating causes all the time. In the present moment, the choices we make, we are creating causes for the future. Whatever the things that we experience in the present, they probably have past causes, right? Present moment, it has past causes. Future will be decided by the causes that you create in the present, right? So that it's a never-ending kind of a game. Time after time, you create causes and you reap the results accordingly. And maybe due to past causes, you experience unpleasant things in the present. Sometimes people come and blame you. Sometimes you have to go through certain periods of life that are unpleasant. Right? So when such incidents happen, when such periods come, naturally we react. Naturally, we want to get rid of them. Naturally, we want to correct those situations. But as a result, maybe we are creating more and more future causes in the present. But the choices you make in the present, no matter others treat you badly, it doesn't mean you yourself has to treat them in the same manner. Maybe you can face the situation in a different way. Maybe you have the power to choose better. That ability is with you, and it's good if you exercise that ability. That's why we say it is important not to be mindful only during the walking and sitting, but it's important to be mindful throughout your day. And when you be mindful, sometimes you can see that you are creating bad causes in the present. And the way you react to certain situations, it's not the best. Those things you can feel, right? So it's like a continuous process. It's a never-ending process. So if you want to change this process for the better, what you have to do is you have to change it in the present moment. You have to be mindful and try to choose better. You have to be mindful and try to face these situations better. That's the very idea of mindfulness. That's the very idea of this practice. If you practice this, if you continue for a while, then you realize you are able to navigate certain situations much better. Not within a day, not within a week, but when you continue for some time, when you repetitively practice daily mindfulness, as a result, you are able to navigate situations much better. Probably you will feel that lying might create certain issues in your life. Maybe when you lie to your family members, sometimes it backfires. When you lie at workplace, sometimes it backfires, right? So that's happening time after time. So let's say after being mindful, after observing yourself, you realize due to the lying, you go through unpleasant, painful experiences. Due to the lying, you win stupid prizes, right? So let's say if you recognize that in your life, then gradually you can do something about it. Probably when you are mindful, instead of lying, you can divert a certain situation. Earlier, your option was to lie. But now you have the mindfulness to divert that situation towards something else. Probably without directly answering, without directly saying something, you are able to divert it, right? So that type of ability is important. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we get cornered, but when you repetitively practice, gradually you become better at it. You are able to avoid the situations that you have to lie. You are able to probably answer them in a better way. I'm not suggesting that you have to be truthful with everybody. That's not the suggestion. You yourself has to decide who are the people that you have to be truthful, who are the people that you have to not answer or divert the attention towards something else, right? But somehow you are able to avoid lying and avoid being, revealed and experiencing those unpleasant circumstances. That very idea is important, and it helps us to be mindful in our daily life. When you practice it time after time, you really get better at it, and you are able to navigate certain situations much better. That's the very idea. That's why we encourage you to be mindful in your daily life. Initially, it's not successful. Initially, it feels like too much, but gradually you develop that ability. There's this one very nice idea about daily mindfulness. I think that's in Hinduism. And somebody asked, how can we worship in the daily activities? Then the answer given, churn the milk without letting go of the thought of Krishna. You can do the activities without letting go of the thought of Krishna, right? So that very idea is simply to pay attention to whatever the activity that you are doing. And by doing that, you become better in your daily life. The very idea is there in Zen. It says absolute attention is the best prayer. If you are attentive, then that's the best prayer. Whatever you do, whatever the activities, if you can maintain your attention there during those simple repetitive activities, then that's the best prayer. That's in Zen. In Hinduism, they says, do those things without letting go of the thought of Krishna. Simply practice those activities, daily encounters, as a prayer by giving attention to them. And when you do that, you realize that you are getting better and you make better choices. In a way, what we do is we act under delusion, and as a result, we are led towards suffering. Whenever you act under delusion, the result could be suffering. That happens. In our mind, we are making so many choices. Sometimes with our body, we are making choices. With our words, we are making choices. And if we act under delusion, the result is suffering. That's for sure. Right? So if you experience suffering in your life, if you have to go through a great deal of suffering in your life, and that's a sign that you are acting under delusion. You are ignorant, and that's your foundation. You act with ignorance, and as a result, naturally, you get suffering. Even daily life, you feel so much friction. Whenever you deal with other people, whenever you deal with certain situations, in your daily life, you are feeling so much friction. If you feel so much friction, that's a sign that you are going through a whole lot of suffering. What's the reason? The only reason is ignorance or probably acting under delusion. Right? And as a result, the suffering appears. As a result, you feel this friction. So what can you do? You can simply improve your mindfulness. When you improve it, the delusions, they are reduced. Ignorance is reduced. And as a result, you feel less friction. We have done this, I think that's a teacher's training program for mindfulness, master trainers, and it was in Tamil medium, and it was an 8-week program, 2.5 hours each session. So they got the introduction to the practice, they were practicing in the session, and they were encouraged to continue practicing at least 20-30 minutes daily. So that way, they did some time, probably like 6-7 programs they have completed. And one day somebody was saying, Bhante, I was practicing last few weeks, and as a result, I feel less friction in my daily life. I go to work, I do my family responsibilities, but I feel less friction, less stress in my daily life. And I'm not prone to anger as I used to be. Those differences, those advantages I'm experiencing as a result of the practice. See, after only few weeks of practice, this person is experiencing less friction, less suffering. How could it be? What's the reason? Simply because you are mindful, you make better choices, your ignorance is lowered. That's the very idea, right? So there is no point in complaining, or there is not point in wishing. You can wish, but wishes always don't come through. That doesn't happen, right? What you have to do is you have to act according to your wishes. If you wish to feel less friction, you have to act on it. You have to do your practice. You have to do your hours. And when you continue, when you gather certain hours, then you realize the practice works. No amount of thinking about the mindfulness, no amount of wishing will do it. You simply has to get the hours. That's why we say daily do your practice. At least 30-40 minutes of sitting, and try to be mindful in your daily encounters. That way you have to continue. Probably few months, few years, you have to continue. And when you continue like that, when you gather your hours, you suddenly realize that your well-being is much improved. So the wishing isn't enough. Hoping won't be enough. You have to act, you have to do it, and when you do it, you eventually see how the practice works. Even there's this very nice teaching from Buddha. He says, by doing the practice, becoming peaceful, right? You create causes by doing the practice. And when you create causes, the result is natural. You will get the result. Getting the result is natural. You create causes and the result will come eventually. That's the idea he's saying. So by being mindful, we are creating good causes. causes for inner peace. And when you create causes, the result you will definitely get. That's what Buddha is saying. So he is saying no wishing, no thinking will do. Wishing, thinking won't do. What you have to do is you are creating causes. And when you create causes, the result is natural. The result will come. That's the very idea. So when you try to be mindful, in every mindful breath, every mindful step, every mindful bite, you are creating good causes. And when you accumulate them, naturally you experience the result. Naturally you experience that you have improved your inner peace. Most people, they simply wish for inner peace. They wish, they pray for inner peace. But the praying and wishing, only that won't do. Praying and wishing might encourage you. But with that encouragement, you have to act. You have to get those hours. And when you get those hours, then naturally you feel that your well-being is improved. That's how it works. Otherwise, most people think that this is a religion or this is a practice that you have to simply wish for them. That's what most Buddhists do. They do offerings and they wish. They go to certain places and they wish. They go to the Bodhi trees and they wish. Simply wishing. That's all they do. But wishing alone won't do. Instead, you have to act on it. You have to gather good causes. And when you gather good causes, naturally, the result will come. Naturally, you will feel that your well-being is improved. That's the very idea. So you can see by creating good causes, you can experience good results. If you create bad causes, then probably you will experience bad results. That's how it is. So the very idea is to make sure that we create good causes, and the present moment is the place for that. You can't go to the past and create good causes there. Future hasn't come, so you can't create good causes in the future. The only available moment is the present moment. And that's where you have to create good causes. It takes time, it takes effort, but that time and effort is worthwhile. You do it, you get your hours, and as a result, you feel that the practice works. So for the beginners, we simply say, don't think about it too much. Simply do. Simply do the walking practice, simply do the sitting practice. Gather your daily practice hours and continue for few weeks, few months. And when you do that, naturally you will feel that you're experiencing much better mental health or much better well-being. That's the very idea. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Bhante. Next on the agenda is the reports that we have received to present it to Bhante, as well as, if we have time, to allow time for questions at the end. To start this session, I now invite Samantha.
Thank you, Sonali. Avasarai Bhante, and thank you for that amazing, valuable teaching on mindfulness, as usual. That was truly encouraging, and so true, what Bhante was saying. when you put into practice. And also for Nadeep for that really fun exercise we did in the morning. That certainly heightened my need to be more mindful during the day and also keep to the precepts as well. So that was lovely. Thank you. We have Bhante, we have one report received on the meditation practice, but before I go on to read that, I'll just quickly, for any newcomers for the session, just give a brief update on the guidance, the basic guidance on how to meditate. I think Sonali will put Nadeep will put the details in the chat. So basically, it'll tell you exactly how to meditate and do your practice, and also to submit your experiences is important in the form of a report to Bhante, and then you'll get valuable feedback and guidance from Bhante on the progress of your meditation. So please do make use of this opportunity to get this amazing advice, valuable guidance that Bhante can give you personally. And as you can see, there's also two helpful videos put together by Nissarana Vanaya on both mindful walking and mindful sitting. So they're really helpful guidance for your practice. You can also allocate some time for the practice daily, starting with walking and then sitting gradually, building up to 2 hours a day, and that will really enhances your mindfulness as well. You know, as Bhante was saying in the talk earlier on, with being to be mindful during the day as well. Then please submit your experiences in writing, both sessions of mindful walking and mindful sitting to Bhante in the Google reports that's in the chat. There's an example as well in how to do this. For example, if you're walking, you can describe any prominent sensations, textures of the ground, any pressure points on the sole, and how you moved, how the body weight shifted. Similarly, in the sitting meditation, again, you can refer to any prominent sensations, and if it's the breath, your incoming and outgoing breath sensations at the nostril, or if it's at the abdomen, you can describe your rising and falling of the abdomen, etc. And also not just on the practice of walking and sitting, also as Bhante encouraged, it's important to be mindful of your experiences during the day, and being in the present moment of your daily activities. That certainly reaps a lot of benefit of calming the mind and releasing a happier state of mind as well. Then in the session, Bhante will give valuable guidance for your own practice, as I explained earlier, and how to progress through your meditation. Again, the Google links are in the chat. How to send the reports to Bhante by email using the links provided. So once again, this is just a brilliant opportunity and get personal guidance from Bhante on how you can basically continue with your mindfulness and improve during the week according to the personal advice given to your individual report by Bhante during the session. So do make use of this opportunity. finally all the recordings of these valuable sessions on how to be mindful are available at the link given in the chat as well. So I think that's all contained in the chat. So I will now go on to this week's reports, Bante, and I'll read. I think at the moment there's only one report that we've received, but however, if anyone's got any questions, please do on their practice, or obviously, of course, and also on the talk Bante gave. Just put it in the chat, and I'll read it to Bante. During the session. Right, let me just get the first report. Okay, so first report, Bante, received by an adult, Venerable Swami Mahansa, mindful walking. I started to walk on compound and observed the soles of the feet as left and right. I could feel the roughness and hardness of gravel floor, heard the chirping of birds through thought streamed. I set the feet observing as lifting and keeping after a few minutes. This calmed my mind than earlier. Towards the end of the time, I set feet observing as lifting, moving, and keeping. I believe my mindfulness improved very significantly from that. Shall I carry on reading mindful sitting, Bante, or do you want to comment on that?
That's fine. You can do the entire report.
Okay, thank you, Bante. Mindful sitting. As I sat down to observe belly movements, I could observe my posture as a statue. When I paid my attention to movements of the belly, they were different from one another. Ratings were longer than fallings at times, but later I found the opposite of it. Negative thoughts arise in mind. Without my consciousness, I was in thoughts. After a few minutes, I could come to posture where I felt the hardness of the cushion. Gradually, I felt the headache. I noted it and sensed not enough time to observe it till the end, and focused my attention to the belly movements again. Heard noises from the outside. Teruvan Saranai Utum Swamin Wahansa. That's the end of the report, Bante.
Right. Now, let's say both the walking and sitting, you were able to enjoy the moment. Simply notice that you are stepping on the gravel floor, the chirping of birds, and the walking sensations, all the thoughts, right? That way we are witnessing the present moment. And simply by witnessing, we can maintain the practice. That's all you have to do. Then it becomes like we are witnessing a miracle. If you truly embrace the present moment, it's more like a miracle that happens. And it feels so peaceful to simply embrace it. That's what we do as the practice. And gradually you can develop that ability. And let's say when you are able to observe these things mindfully, you can feel that they are changing. The change becomes apparent to you. Initially, if you are ignorant, you might say that these things are not changing. It is constant. You go and ask a worldly person, they will say that things are not changing, things are constant. But when you are mindful, you see how rapidly the things are changing. Even the belly movements that you are observing, it is changing rapidly. Initially you feel like the rising is longer. Later you feel like the falling is longer. This way it is continuously changing rapidly. And noticing this change is a good sign. Your practice has improved, and due to that you are noticing these changes. So simply keep an eye on the changes and notice how these changes evolve. We try to follow the changes closely and notice what will happen to it. That exercise you can take home and try it. If I observe this changing belly movements closely, where that change will lead me. That's the very exercise that you have to do. And you can probably report next time what's the observation. Are the changes become rapid or are they slowing down? Your own observation you can report. And time to time, the negative thoughts that you have encouraged for many years might come. Most people, as soon as they start mindfulness, they want to get rid of everything. That's not feasible. Instead, what you can do is simply recognize that these thoughts are coming, arising. Probably earlier you have encouraged them. Now, by being mindful, you are not encouraging them. So that's a good change. Past, you have encouraged, and due to the past causes, these negative thoughts appear in the present. But by being mindful, you are not encouraging them in the present moment. So in a way, you are creating causes for them to disappear in the future. Due to the past causes, these negative thoughts come. By being mindful, you are not creating future causes. And when you behave that way, when you continue for some time, you realize these negative thoughts, their frequency reduces. Why? The future is changing because you are creating better causes. That very thing will happen. Simply let them come and go under the light of mindfulness. That's what you have to do.
Thank you, Bhante. Let me just see if there's any other. I don't think if anyone has any other questions, please do raise your hand or put in chat. Don't think we've got any at the moment. But while we're waiting, I mean, I'd just like to say to Bhante and everyone, I mean, like, really, certainly I'm feeling the benefits of being mindful now. Before, mindful was just a word, but I can actually, by practicing it and especially doing the daily activities, I feel that my mind is more freer and is getting freer and calmer. And especially if I focus on the job, what I'm doing, the activity in the moment. But of course, that needs a lot more practice because sometimes I forget and I get carried away with all my other emotions and stuff like that, and I react rather than act. So then I sort of like kick in, be mindful, and so I really feel the mind freer, lighter, and happier in doing so, and that's really encouraging. Just like to say thank you to Bante and everyone for encouraging this. Like it was just yesterday, my mind was sort of like, I think, in the background, unsettled over something. And without going into that, I just put it aside. I didn't dismiss it, but kept focusing on the job, what I was doing. And then afterwards, I checked my mind and I realized, oh, yeah, I'm not as tensed as I was before. So then I thought, yeah, that's quite a waste of time being drawn into that negative emotions, and and certainly sitting down and trying to do helpfully, being mindful on the breath, that really increases my mindfulness as well. So thank you, Bante, for your inspiration and explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, we are happy to hear your progress. And that's what simply even the Buddha is saying. You simply wishing or simply talking about mindfulness just being a word, it won't happen. What you have to do is simply start your practice, get some hours, gather some hours, and as a result, you feel that your mind has changed and you're experiencing much better levels of peace. And sometimes there's this white noise kind of negative thoughts or emotions in the background. Your way of practice is good. You don't dismiss it. Let it be while focusing on the present. That's what we have to do. In a way, it's good to let them come and go freely. That way we are not suppressing. We are allowing them to surface, but we are not really going into them or encouraging them. Instead, simply being mindful, they come and go, they arise and they pass. That very ability is important because it's like catharsis. These things have to come to the surface in order for us to heal. So let them come. By simply being mindful, we are dealing with them. Sonali, yes.
Thank you, Bante. Yeah, just want to quickly add as well, Bante. I'm still trying to improve my mindfulness, less gossiping. So my mindful, the precepts, so I have to keep to that. Thank you. Yeah, Sonali.
It's always a process, no? So don't worry about it. It's a process. We improve today and tomorrow again. There's a chance to improve further. That way we are doing the practice. That time to time we make mistakes. We feel like our practice is broken, but next day again you realize it is intact, right? So that way the trend will be always upwards. Time after time variations happen. Yes, Sonal, yes.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you, Bante. This is just a comment, something I've noticed in my daughter during a very intense incident. She was in a competition, and I quite often, she doesn't sit in the sessions with me, but I relay the information that you have said, and in some other scenarios to my children, to my family, saying, this is what we discussed, you must try this. But I saw this in kind of practice in one of the sessions in an intense moment. So I thought I'll share that with you. She was about to go in for one of her items on stage, getting ready, finished one before, and one of her teammates came to her and said, you did something wrong, you shouldn't have done it. And she was just about to do her next performance. So I knew she was getting angry and agitated. I happened to stand very close to her. And as soon as the person left, she took a deep breath and she said to her, I'm a CCTV, I'm a CCTV. And that reminded me of What you have told us, Bhante, and I have taught her. And she's trying to tell that to herself to calm herself down. And she turned to me and said, I'm okay, Mom, I'm okay. And then she went on. So I thought it was quite a proud moment for me to see her react like that just before going on to calm herself down.
That's very nice. Practical situations, how when we see such situations, it is really encouraging and, pleasant to see how these type of situations can really, help us to be mindful, and we can really do a great job amidst difficulties. It's always natural that, when we deal with others, other people, these things happen. They don't pick the perfect timing for us to come and complain. They usually pick the worst timing. So when that happens, you yourself has to deal with it now. It doesn't matter that what others do or say. You yourself are responsible for your things. So it's a good way to, probably use the mantra saying that I'm a CCTV. I'm a CCTV, yes. That third person view. The emotions are there, the thoughts are there, but simply there's a distance between them versus the observer. That very observer will save us. By being the observer, it doesn't matter whatever the difficult situation. Simply by being the observer, we can go through that. Right? So emotions, thoughts, difficulties, simply be the observer and continue your things. It's not like earlier you used to recognize or identify yourself with these thoughts, emotions. By being a CCTV, you don't identify yourself with these thoughts, emotions. That's the difference. That can make a huge impact. Otherwise, if you simply identify yourself with anger, then you won't be doing a good performance. Instead, the children, they can do it very nicely, They have their own tricks and they know how to use it. So it's even very encouraging for the adults as well. So good to know that she's practicing like that, and you may pass our greetings to her.
Okay, don't think we've got any more questions, Sonali. So, and we're nearly end of the session as well. So I'll hand over back to Sonali. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. Yes, we do have a couple of announcements to make before we end the session. One more time, I will give you a quick reminder on the schedule of Lokubhante's visit. This is, if you can see all the programs here. I think some of the programs are booked out, but some of them are open programs. But you will need to contact the person in charge to book in for the sessions. Some of them have limited space available in the venues. So if anyone needs any more information or haven't noted down the relevant retreat or information, let me know before the end of the session, or write me an email with at beginnersenvy@gmail.com. We will share the information with you, but I'm pretty sure I have been sharing it for the last couple of weeks, so you have already got to know all the details. In light of this situation, the next announcement is most of the UK participants have informed us that they are either traveling to the retreat leading up to the 5th or participating in the program on the 5th and unable to participate in our program. So we have decided to cancel our next week's session, the mindfulness session, Zoom session. So we will not be hosting next week, which is the 5th of July session. I will send you a reminder via our WhatsApp group to send you to all your friends and relatives that are participating as well. So the 5th July session is no longer available. We will meet again on the week after, which is the 12th July, as usual, onwards as usual. So it is now time to end the session. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to thank Venerable Homagama Dhamma Kusala Thero for his continued guidance on this program with us. And of course, we cannot forget the Chief Abbot of Nissarana Vanaya, who's visiting us, will be visiting us very soon. Venerable Udayirigam Dhammajiva Mahathero. May this merit help them improve their own practice as well. And thank you to all the organizers who are working really hard to bring this program to you every week. Much merit to all the participants who are sharing your experiences with us as well and participating via Zoom, Facebook live stream, or anyone who may be watching later as well. As usual, we will meet not next week, the week after, which is the 12th, 1 p.m. onwards. We will be having our usual session, 1 p.m. Sri Lankan time. May you all have a happy and mindful week ahead. I will now end the session for everyone.